hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome one and all. I am super excited to be here with you today on another magical day. It's always a magical day if you decide that it is one and you decide to make it one. Speaking of magic, we just had a pretty magical holiday that just passed a couple days ago. Halloween, or in the old Celtic tradition, Samhain, spelled Samhain. Totally not how you would think that you would pronounce it, but pronounced Samhain. And Halloween is actually a take on this ancient Celtic, why can't I say it? Celtic tradition. You say it 5 times fast. And so what happened was that the church basically wanted to have their own take on this pagan day. And so Halloween is an abbreviated term for All Hallows Eve, which is the day before All Saints' Day. And it was essentially the church's attempt to associate their own saints with the time of these pagan spirits. And today we see different symbols associated with Halloween, like the witches, broomsticks, black cats, pumpkins, apples, owls, all of these different things. And so I thought it would be really fun to explore these symbols and see what they mean and where they came from. You know, I like my symbols, and I think it was, I don't even know how long ago. It's been quite a while that I said that I would go into more symbols, and now's the time. We're going to go into some Halloween symbols and see what they mean and where they came from. And so, like I said before, Halloween came from this pagan tradition of Samhain. And what Samhain is a celebration. It is a night of the living dead. Essentially, a night where you could welcome back your ancestors who have passed on. It is also a time that is harvest time. And so this time of death, a time of harvest, is symbolic of this time of year. There were bonfires that were lit at this time of year in order to guide the dead back to the world of the living, and also bells were rung. The reason why it's this time of year is because this is the time of year when the veil is the thinnest between the living and the dead. And so that means that communication would be easier. And this is why they would use this time of the year to try to communicate with their ancestors and essentially bring them back from the dead to the living so they could commune with them once more. And it's easier when this veil is thinner. You've all seen some of these Halloween shows where they can go through the doorway right at this specific time to go into the spirit world. And it's quite interesting that you can actually feel the veil being thinner. I certainly could. I had a very interesting Halloween day. It seemed like it was full of deja vu. Like I had been here before, felt these moments before, was learning these same lessons before, and even getting the same messages on that day. Very, very interesting. And it's a really interesting time to pay attention because the veil is so thin that we're getting messages also from our guides more clearly. And also, which is where the demonistic aspect of Halloween came in. It's not just the good spirits, it's all of them too. And so certain things were used to kind of ward off these demons or bad spirits that could possibly come through in this time of the veil as well. And that's why homes were traditionally decorated with things that would scare the demons away. And that is why pumpkins were carved. Pumpkins were harvested and are harvested at this time of year. And so they were carved and faces carved into them to scare away any intruding entities that might not be wanted. And candles were put in them to light them up because darkness doesn't like the light, right? That's a super simple concept that has been known throughout the ages, and the witches knew it quite well. And one of the other neat things that I saw is that Halloween is also called Nutcrack Night. It's a nut harvest. And so because of this peak of nut harvest, that the nuts being a symbol of promise and fertility, they're used as a ritual to determine a future lover. And so what happens is the nuts are placed in the fire after all the eligible names are put on each nut. And then they're placed in the fire, and the first one to crack is the name of the lucky partner. Also, apple bobbing. The reason why apple bobbing is popular this time of year, also, it is the apple harvest time as well, but apples are a symbol of the underworld. And there's so much to the apple and the apple tree, right? I mean, many of you might go right to Adam and Eve and the apple tree, which the Celtic people also saw the apple tree as the world tree, the axis of the universe. They considered the apple the most magical of fruits. It is a fruit of immortality and also of prophecy, which is why the apple has such a special place during Samhain, or what we now call Halloween. And I'm going to read what it says about apple in my Signs and Symbols source book. It says, the apple itself contains a potent magical symbol within. If it is cut across its equator, with the stalk at the top, there are 5 pips inside, contained within a 5-pointed star or pentagram. The pentagram, in turn, can be the basis of the golden spiral. The spherical shape of the apple symbolizes eternity. In the biblical story, when Eve persuaded Adam to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, she also handed him the pentagram hidden inside the fruit. Although the Bible never specifically states this, the fruit was an apple. Here, the pentagram stands for the spiritual nature of man, and eating it awakens Adam to new possibilities. The flesh combines with the spirit, and immediately Adam and Eve cover their genitals, signifying sexual awakening. In gypsy wedding ceremonies, it is customary to cut the apple in the way described above, and the bride and groom each eating a half. Magical apples that confer immortality can be plucked from mythological trees all over the world. In Scandinavian stories, apples guarded by the goddess Idun keep the gods youthful until the end of the universe. The Hesperides in Greek myth are nymphs that tend a beautiful garden in which grows an apple tree whose fruits also confer immortality. These apples are understandably highly sought after and were given as a wedding gift to the goddess Hera by Gaia, the earth goddess. The Latin word for apple, malum, also means evil and reflects the paradox of the apple as a symbol of both good and evil. And I think that is a really good point, because all of the energy that we have, all of the magic that we have within us, we can choose to use that for good or evil. It's totally up to us. The power is the power. It is what we decide to do with it. And the apple is such a really neat representation of that 5-pointed star in the middle of the apple, signifying change, signifying magic. The power of magic is signified in the apple. I love that. And so then we have the owl. And the owl is a really big symbol of Halloween. And very interestingly, the Italian word for owl is strix or strega, which also means witch. And the owl is often attributed to the goddess Athena, the goddess of wisdom. It's a bird of the night. It has access to covert and occult information, knowledge, and secrets. The owl is a symbol of a deep connection with wisdom and intuitive knowledge. Athena isn't the only goddess associated with the owl. The Sumerian goddess Inanna also is known to use the owl as her symbol. I think many goddesses actually use the owl as their symbol because the owl is a symbol of the feminine, the moon, and prophecy. The moon is a mirror of the sun, and so that itself is symbolic of the clairvoyant powers, the intuition, what is hidden within, and is also another gift of witches. The owl was also believed to be a companion of the infamous witch Hecate, the goddess of the underworld. Interesting, the apple is a symbol for the underworld, and here comes the owl being a companion to the goddess of the underworld. And that is because there is a belief in tradition that the owl could come and go between the lands of the living and the dead. And that is why it is a great symbol for the time of Samhain or Halloween, because the owl symbolizes that easy communication between the living and the dead. It can easily go back and forth. And so the owl can also be symbolic of death in many traditions, but not death literally. When the owl is associated with death, it's usually viewed as a symbolic death, meaning a transition, something very important, a big change that's about to take place or to happen. So when the owl's around, it's always important to pay attention to these winds of change and knowing, all right, something is changing, something is moving. The symbol of the 5, the 5-pointed star, is the first number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that has movement. If you notice, when you would make shapes with 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get to 4, you have a square, and you still aren't moving. By 5, you're making a circle there because that now has movement. And so that is why it is associated with change, the number 5, the pentagram, and why it is also so magical. And why the owl is also associated with witchcraft and can be a wonderful spirit guide to commune with your ancestors and be a guardian or a gatekeeper as you travel into the spirit world and do your own type of exploration, because the Celts and the Egyptians also regarded the owl as a gatekeeper. So the owl can also be your gatekeeper. Because the owl is so wise, the owl also provides discernment, wisdom, and has the capacity to see beyond deceit, to see things that others don't see, to see beyond the veil. So the owl is a very, very powerful totem and a wonderful spirit to ask for its help when you are journeying and exploring your own magic. And then there's the magical cat. Typically for Halloween, we see the black cat, but cats have always been a symbol of the underworld or the spirit world or the witch's familiar. It's the cat that always shares the magical secrets of the one doing the magic, holding the knowledge. Because the reason why is because it was a great way to share without sharing with those who they were afraid couldn't understand. Even in ancient Egypt, and we've talked about the cat people and how much they really held cats as sacred, and they were like knowledge bringers. They were message bringers. They were communicators. They were knowledge holders. They are knowledge holders. If anyone is a cat person or has a cat, you know these little beings are something special. They definitely have a magic about them. They can see things that we don't see. How often is your cat looking at things that you can't see, but they are certainly watching something because they can see it. And so cats have always been regarded very, very highly, and even as deities, especially in ancient Egypt. Egyptian priests believed that cats carried the magnetic forces of nature. And so, just being in close proximity to them, they believed that enabled them to have access to the cat's powers. And so that's one of the reasons why they always wanted to have them around. Another interesting thing about the cat is that when a cat sleeps, it curls itself into a circle with its head touching its tail, which is very similar to the ancient symbol of the Ouroboros, which is the serpent biting its own tail. And this symbol has been used so much throughout time. It was first seen in ancient Egypt, of course, and it means a lot of things. Most importantly, it symbolizes the cyclical nature of time, the eternal cycle of birth and death. Also, again, here we go, back with our Halloween veil death theme. I just love how, looking at all of these symbols, they all play off of one another. They're all just one thing telling another story, a different symbol telling the same concept. Very, very interesting how we use all these different symbols to tell our stories, to impart meaning, so that we can understand what the energy is of this time. And so, with the energy of this time, what are you doing with it? What are you doing to examine that deeper aspect of you? Those parts that are always there, maybe hidden, those grander parts that are connected to the multiverse that you always have access to. When you go within and you have the help of the energy of this time, this connection can feel clearer and can feel stronger. It's such a fun time to explore. It's always a fun time to explore yourself and go within and really understand yourself so that you can be the most magical creator of your universe. Because that is what you came here to do, and it is time to do it. Let's take advantage of this time of year, this wind of change, this time of magic, this thinning of the veil where you have more access than you normally do. Take advantage of it, ask some questions of yourself, and trust your answers. You are a magician. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave you with a song for today. This is Rising Appalachia. Make magic, of course, right? Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Giver in a land of the forsaken, can I be a forgiver? Can I swim up river, keep the air in my lungs? When I hit the dam, I'll break it and sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic, magic. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna making their ways say stop. We'll hold 'em back with the magic in our cook pots. Good people all around me, acting kindly, acting wisely. Open your eyes, what do you see? Those in power are meek in their ways say stop. We'll hold 'em back with the magic in our cook pots. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic, make magic.
We believe in warriors and we don't believe in war. And we'll arm ourselves in liberty, arms outstretched at your door.